Okay, I know it's cold, so we probably should move this right along and just I'll introduce myself. My name's Dan Murphy. Lieutenant Michael Murphy was my son. I'm joined here today with his mother, Maureen Murphy, who's right over here. Our youngest son, John Murphy, who is Michael's younger brother. My wife, Karen, is here, along with my sisters, Jerry and Maureen, and of course, some absolutely wonderful dignitaries.
And your daughter-in-law, is she?
And my daughter-in-law, Lauren. And the dignitaries will introduce themselves, but Supervisor Romaine is here. I just wanted to say this is a momentous occasion. For those of you who may know about Michael and the SEALs, I would just indicate that, you know, when faced with adversity, they come together and they make it bigger, better, and stronger. When the towers went down, we built One World Trade Center, which was bigger, better, and stronger. When Michael went down, they built the Michael Murphy, the destroyer, which was bigger, better, and stronger. And today, a monument that had been vandalized by a young man is now being replaced with something bigger, better, and stronger. So there's some symmetry there. I want to just introduce to you the two gentlemen who made this happen. Elliot, back here. Come on up, Elliot. Provided the stone. Elliot's with Lido Stoneworks, and he came to me right after it had been destroyed, said he had granite being shipped from Italy, and he knew exactly the piece to use. He told me, he said, Dan, you could drive a truck on it. So I can't thank him enough. He's with Lido Stoneworks. And then, of course, Pete, where's Pete? Pete did the design work on the stone that his father originally did when this was laid down originally, what, in 2007, I think, or something? Right after Michael received the Medal of Honor. His father was a Navy veteran, and so Michael touched his heart deeply, as did the whole family. So without anything further, I'm going to introduce Supervisor Ed Romaine from the town of Brookhaven.
Thank you. I'm joined by Councilmen Kevin LaValle, Neil Foley, and Michael Loguercio. Come on up here, guys. This is a town park. We were devastated with vandalism when it occurred. We said, like Mr. Murphy said, stronger, bigger, better. We have cameras and lights now, so that if anyone is vandalizing anything, we will find out. We will have our public safety stops by on a regular basis, but we have cameras and lights protecting this monument. First of all, I want to thank the vendors for a great job. This monument stands to represent an individual that was the best of our country. He's memorialized here in stone, but he is remembered in our hearts. Not only for his sacrifice for his country, but for the extraordinary human being that he was. As long as we have men like Michael Murphy, this country will endure. God bless him, God bless his family, and I'm going to turn it over to, I see our County Comptroller, John Kennedy.
Good morning. Thank you, Mr. Supervisor, and we're all honored to be here to go ahead and to rededicate this stone in the memory of Michael. As the supervisor said, he gave the ultimate sacrifice for our country. We're here on a cold morning, but you know, the cold was nothing for the Navy SEALs who go out there for us all over this world and confront and face terrorism on a regular basis. His family has persevered, survived, kept his memory alive, and we have the museum, as a matter of fact, that's being put forward. I also want to recognize our legislator Leslie Kennedy, our police commissioner. The work that the Suffolk County Police Department did following this tragic incident, this terrible incident, was swift, quick, and the individuals were brought to justice and they were dealt with, and I think there was some enlightenment there for the young people that became involved. They had no idea what they in fact actually had done. So look, we'll come here, we'll remember Michael, we'll recognize him, we'll make sure that we keep the memory alive. And today is a great day to show all the good things about Suffolk County on behalf of one of our own. Thank you. Yeah, Joe, come on up. Our new Assemblyman, Joe DeStefano.
Good morning. It is with great pride that I stand before you today to rededicate this monument to Lieutenant Michael Murphy. As a fellow Patchogue Medford alumni, I was proud to be there when they dedicated the high school to him, and this is just another gratification of the life and the family that he had, and it's a very proud moment to be here with the other elected officials, and thank you so much for coming and showing your support for Lieutenant Michael Murphy. Great individual. I didn't know him personally, but I know what he did, and I saw his story, and I really am proud to be part of this rededication of this plaque. Thank you.
We also have our Director of Veteran Services, Tom Ronayne, here. Tom, why don't you come up and say a word with the Commissioner?
Thank you. Thank you. And joining me is our Police Commissioner, Geraldine Hart. We as Suffolk County are extraordinarily proud, not only of the service that Michael Murphy provided as a Navy SEAL, as a Navy veteran. I feel a special, I think, affinity to him, but certainly the legacy that has followed and grown Michael over these years. He has, in so many ways, become really a unifying force within the community, and I think that the example of what took place here at this memorial when the vandalism occurred, there were broad disagreements on the nature of how justice should be applied in such a manner, in such a case. And to a person, the Murphy family, Michael's colleagues in the SEAL community, everybody came together and said, you know, let's not be overly harsh. Let's use this as a teachable moment and try to help this young individual or these young individuals understand and make this a lesson so that going forward in life, they perhaps would not make a similar mistake in the future. And I just found it very extraordinary that the compassion and the kindness, the gentleness that existed within that circle when there should have been, in my view, much more anger, they found compassion and love. And I just found that to be an extraordinary thing. And that is very much in keeping with Michael's legacy and who Michael was as a man. On behalf of our county executive, unfortunately, the county executive is unable to be here with us this morning, but he did ask that Police Commissioner Hart and I make special mention and take a moment to acknowledge and recognize the generosity of the community, and specifically the generosity of the folks who came forward and provided the stone, the engraving, the placement of the new stone. Their actions truly personify what we as a community represent when we come together and pull together in difficult times. These are the sorts of things that we are able to accomplish. Commissioner?
Yes, thank you. I do want to say how honored I am to be here today and represent the men and women of the Suffolk County Police Department. When this vandalism act occurred, I can tell you that our officers are constantly vigilant, but they had an extra motivation to apprehend the individuals that were involved, and they would have moved mountains to do so, and they did. But I can tell you that I was so proud of them that on their own, they took that moment to make it a teaching moment. And while I didn't have the honor of knowing Lieutenant Murphy, I know that he would have been proud of our officers who took that time to explain to those juveniles at the time exactly who Lieutenant Murphy was and what he stood for, and make that a teaching moment for those children to bring with them in the future and learn from. So I'm proud of our department and how they behaved in this time. So thank you.
If I could, we have a brief presentation to make, and if I could at this time invite Mr. Murphy, Mrs. Murphy, and John Murphy to join us, and if we could also have Peter, Elliot, and Gina join us at the podium.
Elliot, come on up. Gina?
So our first is to Peter of Artstone Design. Peter, here you go. Thank you so much for all your generosity.
Thank you.
And we
You're
appreciate
welcome.
all your hard work. Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Thanks, Peter.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thanks.
So next we have Elliot from Lido Stone. Elliot, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for being a part of this.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thanks, Elliot.
Neighbor.
There you go. And of course, Gina from Artstone. Thank you, Gina. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
All right, I think we're just going to wrap it up. I will tell you a quick story. For those of you, if you look at this lake, when Michael was the lifeguard here, when he was doing SEAL training, he used to swim over to that other side and back, which was actually a mile one way and a mile back during his training. Give you a sense of what SEALs can do and do every day. So thank you all for coming, and beautiful stone. And I know Maureen and I will be around, and the rest of the family. Elliot, if any of you want to talk about Michael or his exploits. Thank you again.